We grew up going to Falls since we were 17, like we absolutely loved it. It was such a huge thing when one of our friends who was in a band was, on the main stage or, one of the up-and-coming stages or something. Like, it was huge. Yeah, it's sad to see it sitting there just a bit dilapidated.
The sudden cancellations of Falls Festival, Groove in the Moo and now Splendour in the Grass are just the biggest names in what's been a terrible time for the festival industry.
We've tracked 32 festivals that have cancelled in the last little while. I've seen some reporting of up to 40 events that have either cancelled or announced that it's their final edition.
It's the latest chapter in what's been a decade littered with the demise of big cultural icons, including Big Day Out in 2014, Soundwave in 2015 and Stereosonic in 2016.
Ladies ready, sunshades off, tickets ready please.
The feeling out there in the music community at the moment is not very optimistic. It's pretty sad. It feels like grief.
There's no doubt that the entire festival industry is struggling at the moment. Cost increases, changes in ticket purchasing behaviour, ticket sales not being at the level that they'd hoped to be at.
Splendour organisers Secret Sounds blamed unexpected events for the cancellation, but didn't comment further. It's safe to assume 2 years of cancelled editions during the pandemic and brand damage from the rain-affected 2022 festival didn't help.
Thank God, yes! We want to go home and have a shower and a bed.
Plus, everything required to run a festival is now much more expensive.
In the last 12 months especially, last 24, but last 12 months we've seen a 35% increase in our overall costs. A lot of that increase comes from artists, really. Staffing is quite astronomical as well. We see that, some other major costs is insurance. That seems to be forever growing.
Ryan Lim is part of the team that run Party in the Paddock, a 3-day festival that took place in northern Tasmania in February.
We increased our tickets by about $20 on average this year, which was, a small, increase. We just have to try cover it the best we can, reduce costs as much as possible, hope that, people will, buy drinks and merchandise at the event, but we're certainly seeing a downturn there as well.
The increase in costs means early ticket sales are integral to an event's success. For festival organiser Adam Metwally, it meant watching ticket sales while keeping one eye on the exit.
It just wasn't looking like it was going to get to the point where it needed to be, and there was a cancel now, lose X amount, don't cancel, run the show, potentially lose X times 4.
His event, Coastal Jam, on Victoria's Mornington Peninsula, was one of the many lesser-known events that didn't go ahead this year.
I did personally lose a lot of money in the last 18 months, and my goal was and is to make sure everyone's made whole as best as possible without, going under as business owner.
Olivia Bartley, better known by her stage name Olympia, says for an artist, there's nothing like a festival.
Not only the energy you get from the audience, but it's your one opportunity to really crack into an audience that probably wouldn't have come across you in any other way.
But like so many others, she's seen young people turn away from live music.
For 2 years, all those students coming out of high school who were able to go to venues couldn't go to venues. I worry about artists coming up. It is so hard to reach new fans.
Many within the industry say the only way to prevent further collapses or cancellations is for governments to step in.
We have local councils giving us more money than the state government do currently, which is pretty shocking. There are hundreds and hundreds of vendors and suppliers and contractors and artists, if not thousands, that rely on a music festival.
But Adam Metwally believes government support, especially during the pandemic, is partly to blame for where we are now.
All of the government push into live music and into events resulted in a false economy, which has then resulted in more confidence in the promoters and people involved to do more and go bigger and all that sort of stuff. And also resulted in the minimal amount of international talent that's available getting bid up to a point where it's not feasible for most people.
He says that money enabled huge international companies like Live Nation, which is the majority owner of Secret Sounds, to massively outspend smaller promoters, put on lots of events, and make their tickets cheaper than they otherwise would have been.
It's kind of rigged against a small promoter these days. Unless you can come up with a concept that is so good and so unique and you have a massive moat in your ability to deliver it that no one else can copy, and then you have a great community that no one else can tap into.
A lot of people believe that there are too many events, and this is all part of a market correction, but they don't all agree on what to do about it.
Are we prepared to just sort of sit back and let market conditions determine whether we lose some of our favourite cultural events?
It's so hard to get people to care about this because it's sort of the unknown or the known unknown. We will lose a generation of artists that you'll never know we would have met.